Yo, what's up?
So, hello?
Yeah, I get you. You guys can hear me, right?
Yeah.
All right. Before we go with today's stuff, anything you guys want to review? I know Berm, you're having issues. Fi, you need your environment set up, but for right now, we're
I
good. Yeah.
Most of it, I'm just having some, I guess, Java JDK type of issue, I think.
Yeah. Let's solve that. Actually, let's not. Let me think. If no, actually, we should do it then, since JDK is gonna
Mhm.
impact.
I think I did something wrong, so.
No, that's fine. How about Berm? You said you're having your Appium exits out after every run.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
No, you barely hear you. I think Berm's trying to reconnect. Fine. In the meantime, you want to share your screen? Let's see what's going on.
Yeah. All right, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, yeah, much better.
Hold on.
Fire, you sharing your screen? Fa, can you hear me? Ish, can you guys hear me right now?
I can hear you.
Oh.
Hello?
Yeah,
I can hear you.
yeah. Fa, share your screen so we could
Yeah.
resolve your JDK problem.
I try to share my screen.
Oh, let me exit and you try now.
Let me see. Can you guys see?
No,
No?
no, I can't see anything. It's not working.
No.
I think you gotta go. All right, go to the Apple menu and hit System Preferences. All
Okay.
right, let me share my screen.
Oh, you got a new laptop?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's what's causing it.
But that's not showing up, like the thing that you usually like accept.
You hit Security and Privacy,
Yeah.
and it's still not showing up.
It should be in general.
No, it should be in Security and Privacy right here.
No, after you go in security and privacy,
It doesn't say anything.
Yeah, it should be in general.
yeah, it's not showing up in general.
Do you still have the prompt that says you can't connect or whatever?
Let me
You
see.
have to click the prompt first, like press OK or cancel or whatever. Prompt that comes up when you try to share your screen.
It did, but it's gone now.
So now it should show up on the security and privacy thing.
Yeah, did you hit Allow?
Hold on. Let me restart.
All right.
All right, want me to show you?
Yeah,
what
yeah.
my-
In the meantime, Berm, let me see what's going on with you.
All right. Hold on. All right, can you see my screen?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, let me pull everything up so you can see what happens. All right, so right now, everything works. Let me open up the emulator. APM. That's the emulator.
Can you guys see now?
Yeah, I can see now, but let me see what Berm is doing. You're good, so
Yeah, hold on. Go back to mine.
yeah, come back to Berm, and I'll see what's wrong with yours, Fa.
Alright.
All right, so Appium boots up.
All right, so Appium boots up. Everything's fine. Membership wasn't opening up before. Now everything's fixed.
Right.
I don't know what I did, but I fixed it. So it's all linked. It's all synced. So if I did the whole,
Yeah.
whatever.
You could inspect the
Everything
elements
works.
now. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, when I go to my code, or it doesn't matter what I do here. I'll run a test. If I press run, so everything will run. You'll see it'll go through it.
Right.
Just let it run really quick. Or is this supposed to follow it? Because it doesn't.
Hang on. No, it's not. That only gets updated every time you hit refresh. All right, so it's running through it.
Okay, so watch. Once this finishes, it's gonna stop. Right. Soon. I don't know what happened. Okay. So yeah, now watch. Now it's not doesn't sync anymore. Now I get this error.
Oh yeah, that's fine. Yeah, because remember, in your code, what happened? Your driver quit the session, right? So, okay, try to
This is
run.
normal?
Yeah. So try to run it again from the code. I want to see what happens. As long as that's working.
Yeah, the code still works.
Okay, try to run it again.
That's why it didn't really bother me that much.
Yeah.
I was
No.
able to do everything.
Right. So what's happened is expected. Basically, the only time you'll need that window in the middle, right? The only time you're gonna have that pulled up is when you're trying to inspect elements, pull the IDs. But after you're done doing that, you're never gonna need that again, right? Because
But I mean, like all day yesterday, I was doing this. I was running into errors, so I would need to do it again. Like I would need APM still to see what I did. Like
right. So
what do I have to do? I have to close out APM and open it back up.
wait. Well, hang on. So yesterday, you mean you were still reliant on the middle screen, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, troubleshooting, find out.
Okay.
My code crashed.
Let's try this. And okay, comment out the driver.quit in your hooks after method. I'm not 100% sure it'll work, but let's see if it does.
Oh, you're saying that what's happening is normal?
Oh yeah, that's how you.
It happens to all of you guys?
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly what happens because you quit the driver, right? So what I'm trying to say is usually what everyone's approach is just to use that Appium, that middle GUI selector, extract the elements, and you could verify right there if your IDs are even good. You do know that, right?
What do you mean?
Like let's.
Oh yeah, through here, through this, and
not even through the GUI, right? Okay. First, let's try to run it through your code again, and then we'll see if the thing works.
I'm just running a login test.
Yeah, go.
Or whatever landing page test.
All right.
All right, so it's
Is
done.
it done? All right. Now try to refresh it in the middle. Ah, damn. Yeah. So I guess
As long as it's normal. I thought it was something
no,
wrong.
it is normal. I was wondering if this would work, but I guess it doesn't. Yeah, but the regular way of doing things is just to use that middle thing GUI just to get all the elements first, and you could debug right through in the middle to see if you could select the elements. So there's technically no need to have both of them open at the same time. You get what I mean? Like, all right, to show you an example, just restart everything using the GUI. So just exit out and then start a new session using the Appium desktop client directly.
But yeah, it's nothing. This thing kept coming up. Hello world. It went away now. All right, it's up.
Okay, let's wait for that button to load. All right, so what I'm trying to tell you is like, all right, click on the green button through Appium. Right, and let's say you wanted to just to see, I mean, you know it because you already seen it, but yeah, you could tap it right there, right? And not only that, but you could also tap by coordinates. So let's say you didn't want, let's say you know the selector that pops up from the bottom, right? And if you wanted to see if your tap by coordinate thing works, you would tap by coordinates. You get what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed that. It's one of the selectors among the first three. Yeah. This is swipe. You could swipe by coordinates, but you can also tap by coordinates, right? So technically, once you have this out, you only need to do it once, right? And if it works here, it should work in your code. See, so there's no real reason to have both of them up at the same time. Uh, I mean,
So you're
right?
saying once I run the code and it disconnects or whatever, I can still do all this?
What do you mean?
Like I can still click on stuff?
But
Even though it's...
you just have to start a new session, right? Because the initial driver session, that's a completely new one. So what I'm saying is there's only one Appium on your computer, right? Because we only downloaded one instance. So say your code is running it, right? Your code started its own instance and it exited out as soon as your Java code ended. Like not even withstanding the driver.quit method. Once it stops running, there's no instance of it. You get what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
then that exits out. So naturally, you're gonna have to start Appium again. So yeah, this is you don't have to worry about your configuration being bad because this is right. The only thing you just gotta, work your head around the thing. That's it. But otherwise, you're fine. Yeah.
Okay. I got another question.
Yeah.
I was trying to do that point, the window.get position thing.
Yeah.
When get size. I mean, it wasn't really working for me. Like I don't know if I was putting in the right thing, but the way I did it, I should have erased it. I had it. I was doing size dot width, which gives you the full width,
Right.
and then I was doing times 1 divided by 3.
Oh.
But this gives you a double.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, even then, I fixed that problem. I just did it. I just rounded it to. Actually, no. What did I do? I did, round up or whatever. Round. Dot round. So that gives me a round number. It still clicks on the weird part of the screen. I think it clicks like on the top. It pulls down the the thing. Like, you know, when you pull down, yeah, it kind of pulls this down
Did you
for a
match
brief
your,
second and
you
pulls
know,
it back up.
what could be happening is, did you see how the X and Y coordinates are actually laid out? Like once you look at the actual
Yeah, so
app,
what I did, I even did that. I did like system data, the print and the coordinates, and I saw the coordinates. You know, the coordinates should be like right in the middle, but it was still pulling this down for a brief second.
would
Yeah,
you
I
be
wish I
able
didn't
to,
leave it.
let's, if you want to try that right now, let's do that, where we just print out the X and Y coordinates, and then we could go into Appium directly and see which part of the screen it actually taps. Ish, did you have a similar problem?
With the width thing, yeah, actually. So do you want me to share my screen?
Yeah, let Berm type his thing out, but you go ahead and, well, were you able to succeed in how you did it?
Yeah, I did it. I was able to do it, but hold on, let
I
me
was
just.
able to do it, but I don't think it was right because it was still acting weird. Like, it still worked technically, but I don't think it worked the way it should be working.
I'm pretty sure what's happening is that let me go to my. So what's happening is that height and width are probably in pixels, and the point thing accepts coordinates. So, you know, it's not really. Pretty sure.
That kind of makes sense. But, I mean, actually, no, it doesn't. Because when you go to...
Like, if you...
get size, it says, get the size of the current window. This will return the outer window dimension. Not just the view. It says dimension.
Yeah, but, like, think of it's like if you knew CSS, you'd kind of get it, but like think of pixels like inches. So like get height is returning the phone is 10 inches tall, right? And then, but you know, obviously coordinates are like, you know, x 1000, y 500. That's not necessarily that's not the same thing. So you know, if I put 0.8 here, then you're multiplying the height in a unit of measurement by 0.8, and then you're trying to call that a coordinate. And so you're saying the x coordinate is the height times 0.8, which doesn't really make sense. I left it like that because kind of took me forever to do it. I was kind of lazy to find another solution, but I'm pretty sure this is wrong because. You know, you're taking a unit of measurement and trying to call it coordinates.
Yeah. Was it doing that thing for you where like it pulls down the top menu for a split second?
Pulls down? No. You're the issue with yours is probably that you're clicking somewhere that's too high up.
Yeah.
Let's actually see it happen though in real time. So first, Ish, if you want instead of going through the entire because you're saying it works for you, right? So let's just get your coordinates.
It works at this value, like 0.5.
0.5.
But like I did 0.8, which like, you know, if you did height times 0.8, naturally it should be like the top 20% of the
right.
Of
no, I get what you're saying.
Is which.
Yeah,
click.
but I get what you're saying. As I'm saying, to verify, let's just print it out. You could do that by just running. No, actually, that's gonna be hard until you pull up the actual app. So you could do this. I don't know if you want to mess around too much with your...
I know what it outputs. It's like
Oh, you know the exact output?
It's like I forgot the exact number, but it's like 1100 for get height times 0.5.
No, width I think is 1100. Oh yeah, because it's 2000. So it's like 2000 and change. So 0.5 would make it 1100. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you want, all you need to do is pull up the app once, and then so it could get the dimensions of it, just so we're able to see what your exact x and y values are. Ish, if you want to do that. So if you want to run Eclipse, just so we could see. You don't even have to do that. Oh yeah, you're gonna run it. Okay, gotcha.
You want me to run the whole thing?
Not the entire. You don't even have to go outside of the main landing page. Just so we can see what your code is. Thing. getting the height and width values as, and then we'll compare it to what Berm's method does.
Okay.
All right, so we could even just stop right here. Do you have like a rough estimation of your values for X and Y?
Yeah.
All right, let's tap by coordinates, and then it'll tell you right if you hover over it. Yeah. So what is it? Would you say?
It's probably like somewhere around here. Yeah.
So despite you throwing in 0.5, 0.5, it landed around there. Oh, you're talking about somewhere in the middle too. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, cause like, look, if I multiply point five, in reality it should be like dead center, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But in actuality, target like somewhere like right here.
So the way I was thinking about doing it is because the point one, the point get position, that starts off at 0, 0, which is the corner, top left corner. So I was thinking if you take that corner and then add a third of the get size. You know what I'm saying? Kind of.
Can you hover over the top left?
Here?
To where we could see the coordinates start popping up. Now,
Well, coordinates for the top left would be 0, 0.
Right.
Doesn't even go up there.
Yeah, sometimes it's finicky, but yeah.
So what happened was I first tried to do that, but 0, 0 would pull down that top, that whatever, the Android thing where you swipe down from the top.
Oh, that's what was happening for you?
Yeah, but then, I added I did some other stuff and it wasn't at 0, 0 anymore. It was like at 300 and 500, but it was still pulling down the top thing, which had made no sense because at that coordinates, it shouldn't be pulling anything down.
You didn't enter any type of swipe functionality, right?
No, just the point. I put it into the point option.
Okay. All right. In the meantime, let me look into it. Just paste a snapshot. You could do the same thing. Just paste a snapshot of your tap coordinates, and then I'll look at mine because I did it a while ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll just run it then.
Yeah. Okay.
Or not. So I just kept it at the, arbitrary position, 500, 300 that was working before. Oh, and then I had another question.
Yeah.
When we're at the page where we're supposed to add the banana,
Yeah.
were you I couldn't select the banana directly. I had to go into search and look for the banana.
What do you mean?
Here, let me share my screen again.
All right.
So when we're in this screen right here,
Yeah.
does it matter that you have to scroll down to see the banana?
Yeah. So I guess
I mean, I got the bananas, whatever.
ID. No, I got what you're saying. Yeah,
It
I
wouldn't work.
actually forgot to mention this to you guys. So with Selenium, that's another major difference between how apps work and between how web pages work. You can't with web pages, you're able to directly get to the element. With Appium, there's a swipe functionality you have to look into, and also look into touch action because that also has the that class has the ability to swipe down. So I wanted you to also look at that library because once you eventually arrive at it, it works pretty well. So look into that as well. But it all belongs to the same library. Where
So you do have to scroll down then.
yeah, you have to scroll down.
How do you know how much you have to scroll down?
You kind of have to like edge it out. So let me tell you what I mean. So exactly the method you were using, right? Where you get a third of the screen. And so as an example, let's say in the bottom of your screen is like considered, well, like, somewhere in the bottom, think of how a swipe up functionality works. First you start at the position 3/4 from the top, right? Which is like somewhere in the bottom, right? And then you swipe up to somewhere like a quarter from the top. You get what I'm saying? So it seems like an actual swipe. And the touch action functionality holds a little method where you could do that. So you pick a starting location, like, just think of it from your from the angle of your finger. Starting location would be 3/4 down. Ending location would be a quarter up, and that simulates a swipe. So let me give you a direct example. So, wait, am I looking at Ish's screen right now? Oh, Berm's screen.
No.
So, okay, you could even simulate the swipe functionality right now. So I think it's the second option on the top in Appium. Let me see. Yeah, you see swipe by coordinates in the middle?
Oh, yeah.
All right, now do this. Now don't go to the emulator, but pick a starting point as if you were to swipe up. So somewhere on the bottom, a little, like let's say 3/4 of the way down. Yeah, perfect. So tap on that once.
And then swipe up.
No, don't even swipe up. Just tap on it once, and then now pick a second location, which is somewhere in the top.
Right here.
That's fine. Yeah.
Oh, that's what that's
right. So that's a swipe, right? And now there's a equally analogous method with the touch action class that simulates that. So yeah, you're right. Like you could get the banana ID, but in order to be able to use it through your code, you still need to swipe down to be able to view it, or else it's not visible.
So do you need the banana to be in the view?
Yeah, exactly. You need anything you
keep scrolling to stay.
Right. You need anything you want to be able to interact with in the view. That's one big difference between Selenium and Appium. It's a hassle, but you gotta, yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that's just the nature.
It wasn't working, so what I did was I just went here, searched the banana, and then added it.
Ish, you got it working. Did you look up the swipe functionality yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I when I told you guys touch action, I wanted you to like research it a bit more for yourself, and yeah. So look into that. So with the touch action, you could point directly like that. That's two major functionalities you should be aware of because that's a regular interview question. They'll ask you like like various means of interacting with the app where you regularly wouldn't. One would be tapping like we did here to dismiss this, and another would be swiping down. So those are two major functionalities you should be aware of.
Wait, say that again?
So, for interviews, right, where they're going to ask you, like, all right, what do you think the best method is to swipe down, like in an app, so you could, focus on an element, right? You would, basically just like how I described it. You'd say, all right, I take the height of the device I'm using so as to include all devices, right, and not some kind of hard-coded values for any one device. I'd pick a starting point and I'd pick the end point, and I use the touch action library to simulate that interaction. And obviously when I'm telling it to you right now, it sounds like gibberish, but once you see it and you do it yourself, it's gonna make a lot more sense.
Okay, no, that makes sense.
Yeah, but it's really as simple as the actual method is like, how you use point. It's like something like press. That's one of the methods in touch action. You press and then there's like a follow-up method, and it's not nothing crazy. It's works similarly to how you use tap.
Okay.
Yeah. So
All right. So yeah, that was all my questions.
Yeah, look into that. And just in general, guys, like, don't wait for me to assign homework at this point. At this point, you should really try to automate as much as you can, and just paste your code. Like, if anything you want me to review, if you like, just exactly how Ish does it. Like, he just asked me questions directly. He put up a, he was asking me something if something was like an efficient way of doing it, and I explained it to him why not. It isn't, and that just benefits him because he could, now he has like this kind of conversation in his head that he has material basically, right? And to beat these interviews, it's just you gotta form your own script, and it's like a breeze, and you don't have to think. So at this point, automate as much as you can, and try to structure your code where, for instance, like the cart tests, the purchase tests, they all belong to, it's clean. But the more you expand it, the better you'll be able to review without having to rely on these questions. So just keeping that in mind going forward. But this you should heavily automate. Anything else, or can we move? Oh yeah, Fa, let's see what's going on with the JDK.
All right. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. This thing. So I'm not sure what that means.
Wait, I can't see your screen again.
Oh wait, I'm not sharing. Whoops. All right. So when I try to open Eclipse, it says this, and I'm not sure what that means.
JVM shared library. All right. How did you install the JDK?
I just went on. I googled JDK, and then I did the first option.
Okay. Let me see. All right. Let me look that up first. See what's wrong with that. Oh, I think you didn't point Eclipse to the right.
I used I used this thing. I don't know if we used that before.
Yeah,
Eclipse.
We did. Try to uninstall Eclipse, and then let's do it again. So go into applications folder and just delete Eclipse, and then we'll try to reinstall it. I don't see it. All right, just double tap the Eclipse installer. Yeah, delete that. Yeah, delete that.
What about this?
No, that we need. So just empty out your trash bin, and then we'll try to redo it. All right, now let's go back to the installer. Did this happen before?
No. Let me do it before.
Say again? Oh, it let you do it before.
Yeah.
All right,
That's how I
just try to re-download Eclipse then. Yeah, delete that installer.
Okay.
This is your new computer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Don't even move it to, yeah, let's try it directly. All right, open. Do you remember if you downloaded Eclipse before Java or JDK?
I forgot. I was like downloading everything kind of like at once.
That's fine. All right, first one, yeah. Okay, here's where I think you messed up.
Oh, like this thing?
Yeah, that was the most recent JDK, right?
I think so. Yeah.
You downloaded it from the front page. Let me
Yeah.
check. Really.
Like 16 or something.
Oh yeah, so that's probably the most recent. Okay.
Wait,
Oh,
not this one?
no, it should be that one. That looks right. Go ahead. Yeah, install it. All right, launch. Move that window. Let me see if this isn't happening in the background. All right, never mind. Ah, shit. All right. All right, try to. Okay, well, let's go to library Java. Delete that. So open up your terminal.
Oh.
I'm thinking maybe this is a bug in this latest one. So we'll use the same one Ish and Berm have. So open up terminal and go to cd/library.
Is it like capital L or
Yeah,
doesn't
capital
matter?
L. All right, open dot. Find Java. You just type in like JA. Yeah, there, I see it right there. All right, let me see. Just let's just delete the whole folder. Go back a second, and just delete Java. Yeah, delete it. All right, yeah. Empty out your trash bin, and we'll download the latest JDK, or not the latest, 16 or something. So go back.
Right.
You open up Safari and yeah, whatever. Just go JDK.
Java JDK 16?
Oh, just say JDK. I want to see what's in the.
Oh,
what they
okay.
have as the latest. Oh, I see. So you got the latest one. Let me see if they have an option for.
Older?
No, never mind. Let's try it again. So go down and which one? Do you remember if you downloaded the x64 one?
I did ARM.
Okay, yeah, you're supposed to do ARM. All right, let's try. All right, click the. Oh, did you go to Mac OS?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Let's do the DMG installer.
I think I did that one already.
All right, let's try it again. Let's see what's going on. Alright, so that should be back there. Now let's try Eclipse installer now. If this doesn't work, I'll work with you after to see what's going on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do I close this terminal?
Yeah. We just need to get the installer. Oh, forgot to leave it open. Yeah, let's see what happens. Yeah, delete that from your applications, and we'll try to install Eclipse one more time. If not, I'm gonna take a snapshot of that error message and see what's up.
Delete it?
Yeah, go ahead.
What about this thing?
No, I just leave that. Just get the installer up one more time and let's try it. Actually, can you do this too? Do you remember how to open up your Bash terminal?
Um,
I mean, your Bash, yeah, your Bash profile,
forgot
your Bash profile.
something.
Open,
Something like that,
space.
like something like that.
The squiggly line,
It's a squiggly line, yeah.
and then
Yeah.
slash dot
Yep.
Bash?
Yeah, Bash underscore profile.
underscore profile.
Wait, what?
Underscore profile.
Oh. Like this?
Yeah, open that.
Yeah.
I don't think. Yeah, you didn't create it. All right, so create that first before we even move forward. So do touch.
Touch?
Yeah, touch, and then that exact same path to Bash profile. Just type that out again with the squiggly line. Yep. All right, now we're gonna open it. So use that same command. All right, now go to where we installed the JDK. Keeping this open, the Bash profile.
What was it?
You have to use
Term?
yeah. So just
Okay.
open /library.
And I opened that.
Yeah. So go to Java. Yeah, click that. JDK. Yeah, contents. All right. Now when you're in home, just drag that over to the terminal so we get the full file path. All right. Now let me post this. All right. You'll see what I posted in Teams chat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just copy paste that line.
Okay. So Java home.
Yeah, the Java home part. But
Paste
after
line, right?
that, you paste your thing. You did that, right?
Yeah, I did that.
Okay. All right. Now we have one more line. All right. Put that right underneath. All right. Save that and use your terminal to source it.
How do I do that?
You just source the Bash profile. You see how you got up, use touch against Bash profile, open against Bash profile? You just do the same thing except using the source command.
Okay. Source and then
All right. Now just type in Java. All right, this is good. Now open up Eclipse.
this one?
Yeah, now we deleted Eclipse, right? All right.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Now let's yeah, now try to install it and then we'll try to open it. All right, let's try to launch. I don't know why it's not launching right away.
I don't think that launch ever works.
Yeah. Yeah. Go to your applications folder using that finder. Or you do that. Damn. All right. Let me take a screenshot of this.
Yeah.
All right. I'll look into this after today's thing.
All right.
All right. All right. Let me share my screen now. So let's get on to today's stuff. All right. So today I won't have you do much in terms of coding. I just want to introduce this REST API automation concept. So today we're going to go over REST API automation. And let me just pull up a good kind of environment to practice it on. And I'll explain what all that means. I think someone's gotta go on mute. All right. Okay. So what we'll go over today, and we'll go over tomorrow, how it relates to the job and how it relates to you as an automation engineer. So what I have in front of me is a website like you guys are already used to. Someone basically created this website to show off or expose an API, and I'll explain what an API means exactly. So anytime you visit a website, there's a lot. I mean, you can already tell there's a lot of backend stuff going on, and I'm just gonna quickly explain what that backend stuff actually means. So right now, what you're seeing is the front end, which you're used to. Anytime you go to any website, be it Facebook, eBay, Amazon, whatever, you're seeing the front end, but you don't see what's going on, in the background. What's happening in the background is the website. Anytime you click a button, like if I were to go to let's say Amazon.com, and if I were to click a button, you don't see the background activity that's going on, but there's an entire backend component to it where, like let's say I look up PlayStation 5, right? There's backend activity that's in the first place. Well, clearly there's nothing here, right? But there's backend activity that makes a call to a database to see if they even have this in stock, and a bunch of other things. But that's how I want you guys to begin thinking about it. And what the front end developers do, right? Because the front end developers are focused on UI, making the website look user friendly, focusing on the user experience. They still have to use these things called an API to use the database that the backend developers are working on, right? The backend developers code the backend stuff in a way where to make it accessible, and the way they do that is with these things called the API. So if you look, this is completely unrelated, by the way. This is some Booker app that let me go over it really quickly. So it's just basically like we'll hone in on this part because that it kind of intuitively tells you what it is let's say you're booking yourself into a hotel. Imagine an actual hotel app. You put in your first name, last name, and you put in your check-in and check-out date, right? All that information, even if you had put that into a website, that has to go somewhere. That has to be, go to a database, right? And in order to do that, again, going back to the APIs, let me show you what a few of them look, how a few of them look like. So if you look at them, they look very, very similar to how a regular URL looks like. You see the HTTPS, right? And going back to Amazon, it's the same exact thing, HTTPS, www.amazon.com. But the only difference is the API is here. You see an HTML file in the end. And why does anyone know why there's an HTML file here and not here, for instance? Like look at this, let me look at more user friendly one. All right, so consider this booking, right? So someone's, so what this is for is like you want to just see who's booked into the hotel, right? And the way you do that is you use this, right? So compare this to this. Why is this showing HTML and why is this not? What do you think? You might be on mute if you're talking. So let me post as an example. I'll put this out of a scratch pad. Berm, you say something?
I say I don't know.
Okay, well, let me put it out front of you. So just keep in mind that this is how, when I say website, I'm talking about the address bar here. And when I'm talking about API, I'm talking about the open access API.
Does the bottom one, like the API one, does it like return something?
Right. What do you think it returns? Like, let's say, all right, so this is called the get booking API, right? And if you look at here, this is what it returns: first name, last name. And keep in mind, this is a hotel booking app, right? And if I enter this in a way, which I'll show you how to do that, if I enter this in a way, this is what it's going to return to me, right? So say I have an ID for whatever. Let's say guest number 555, right? I put that in here using this API. So, this is looking at guest 1, but suppose I put guest 500, right? And in return, this is what you get. Sally Brown, total price, did she pay deposit? True. Booking days, this is when she came in, this is when she checked out. Additional needs, whatever she wants, a breakfast, right? So this, if I enter this here, or wherever, I'm not telling you exactly where yet, just I wanted you to get an intuitive idea of it first. So I put this somewhere, and this is what it spits out, right? And I'll put that in as well. So this is called the get booking ID. Okay. But you were saying, and I'll put the response here.
No, I was saying like the other one just like the website link, and that one like returns info that you're requesting or something. I don't know.
Right. No, exactly. So let's expand on that a little more. So the main idea is these are technically not that different, right? Let me underline them to distinguish them. They're not really different in a way where I mean is the responsibilities of both is just to fetch a type of information. It just happens to be that since this is called index.html, this is the file path to get this entire front end structure you see in front of you, right? So what your web browser is doing is I typed this out, right? I went out and found this website, and I typed this out, and the web browser, what it did is use the HTTPS protocol, and it found this website for me, right? And this website is run all through HTML. We're very familiar with HTML at this point. Let me try to inspect this. I'm not doing it in Safari. I'll pull up Chrome. All right. Right, same exact thing. And what it's basically saying is anytime I enter this somewhere, if I view the page source, this is exactly what I'm returning, right? Forget about the front end for now. The front end is composed of a language. Some front end developer created this, right, to reflect the layout, the font size, everything here. Everything you see in front of you has just been created with this, right? Let me show you, because this is the JavaScript, and the actual front end details are just literally replicated right here, nowhere outside of this. Because this is a very simple front end, right? But back to the point of the API. Anytime I click a link, like if you're in Amazon, you were to click a link, yeah, for me, I can see the front end, but the front end developers, they don't want you to have to type in this API every time you want to be able to fetch, to see if there's a product available in the back end, right? And because it would be a horrible user interface, user experience. You could technically do this, with the correct access permissions. You could do this, and you'd get a return of how many PlayStations are in stock, but you don't want to do that, right? You want to be able to just type it out here, hit this, and all the background details should do it for you, right? I don't want to have to inquire using that link. So just keep that in mind. So let me keep going down, and you'll see that every API is slightly different. So we saw one for booking ID. There's one for creating a booking. So suppose a guest were to first come into the store, and if you wanted to create a new booking for him, this is how you do it. Let's see what else there is. update booking. So suppose a guest is already in the system, you want to take his ID number and you want to update the details, right? You could imagine that, like maybe you got his name wrong and you just want to update his name. Let's see what else there is. Partial update. What that means is, look at all these other details. Like there's a way to upgrade every single one of them: first name, last name, price, all that, right? But maybe you just want to update like additional needs. Maybe the person actually wanted dinner. You could call in the value. The basic idea. Oh, let me go over the last one. Delete booking. Like suppose a customer left the system, you want to delete his name, all of his information from it. This is how you do it, right? That's very important, right? And then we'll go over the exact details, right? But first, I'm going to hone in on this to actually show you it in action, right? So anytime you visit a website, you're used to this web browser doing everything for you, right? You go to the internet, you plug in your Ethernet cable, or you plug into Wi-Fi, you connect through Wi-Fi, you download a web browser and you go to wherever website you want to visit. But if I pull up terminal, you're used to it from the web browser's perspective because it hides all those details. But there's a command called curl, which is a separate program that I'm pretty sure like all Macs and Windows are bundled with it, and it's let me kind of do it for you, then you'll see what I mean. So if I ever wanted to visit Amazon.com, I would do that through the browser, right? But let me do this. So if I do that, right? The only difference between this browser and this curl command is the browser has an engine in the background that takes the HTML, processes it, and splays out things nicely, right? It has an engine in the back to to make everything look nice. Curl obviously doesn't have that, but what I want you to really understand is there's technically how they receive the information if they make the appeal to Amazon.com is no different. And when I hit that, you'll see what I mean. So if I hit run, what do you think I'll get? Well, let's say that before I hit enter. So curl is no different. It's just the program your operating system comes bundled with. But what do you think the main difference between this curl program is and your regular web browser, right? With the web browser, I'm just putting in Amazon.com. With curl, I'm putting the Amazon.com website. So if I hit enter, what do you think is going to happen?
Go to Amazon.com.
What do you mean by go to Amazon.com though? Like exactly what's going to happen?
So is it going to run on the on Chrome or Safari, whatever you're using?
No, that's a good question, because regularly, you see, we associate the two so together, right? In order to go to Amazon.com, we associate it with the browser, right? But what I'm trying to instill in you that's not necessarily the case.
Is it going to receive the GET request?
Is it gonna what? Say that again.
Are you gonna, like, when you press enter, are you gonna receive the GET request?
Well, I'd be making a GET request, but we'll get into that later, right? GET request is just what I'm making. I'm asking you what the response do you think is gonna be.
So the response would just be what you're getting.
Which is what?
Which is
because I'm not specifying anything here besides I just want to go to Amazon.com. I didn't specify PS5 or anything like that. So what do you think I'm gonna get?
Maybe you'll get I don't know necessarily, but like probably maybe an object that packages like your cookies and
you're overthinking it. You're overthinking it.
But it just like you'll be in the page, just not it. It's not.
No, you're in the right track, but keep in that line of thinking. What do you mean by I'm gonna be in the page, but not necessarily?
Like in that directory, I guess. Like.
No, you would technically. I'm gonna hit enter in like 10 seconds, but I'm just curious. I just want to see what you guys are, what's in your heads. Any ideas?
Just gonna see the code that it sends back.
Right, exactly. All right, so let me hit enter. Oh, what the hell? Hang on. Let me see. All right, let me try a different website. All right, yeah, but it kind of nailed it. I guess Amazon's too secure, something, I don't know. But all right, let me try it because I don't want you to kind of confuse it too. Let me try it better. I guess Amazon's still too complicated. So let me try Wikipedia.
Maybe you don't have the right link for Amazon. I don't know.
Maybe. I'll look at it in a bit. All right, so this works. So Ish was kind of nailed it, but Burma was headed towards the right direction too. So let me go up to you see a lot of this. So the idea is, let me see where I hit the curl. All right, so this is the curl command, right? And if you look down here, it's going to be the exact same HTML that you see if you ever visit wikipedia.org. This is the exact HTML where as soon as you land on Wikipedia, this is just what it returns. So let's look at it just to prove it to ourselves. Let me see. All right, so I typed in the free encyclopedia just to hone in on this part because this is fully this is just this text at the end, right? If you look here, all that is here. It's just everything you see surrounding it. Like you see the Wikipedia that refers to this right here. You see the free encyclopedia that refers to whatever is here. And if you keep going down, you'll see all of these, like the reference to the direct, whatever is here. You'll see. Look, I'll even look for this part right here, like the footer or something. Wikipedia is hosted, and you see it right here, right? The idea is all the text is here, and everything you see surrounding it is just a way to align it better. And these are the instructions to how you align it, right? The idea is the main idea is anytime I'm visiting wikipedia.org or I'm making the request, and Ish mentioned get request, and I'll tell you guys what he means by that. So I'm making the request, and what I'm getting in return is the instructions that usually the browser uses to render it, right? So everything you're seeing is just a set of requests, and your browser with its engine parses this, no different from what curl is using to get as a response. It's just that your browsers, be it Internet Explorer, Safari, Google Chrome, the only difference between curl and the browsers is the browsers have the ability, using their rendering engine, to parse this code and make it look nice. That's it, nothing else, right? Technically, anything I could do through a web browser, I can do here, except obviously I would never do that because just look at all this. None of this is useful because you can't parse any of this. It's too much, right? But did that kind of make sense, or did you guys need me to keep?
So the terminal is connected to the internet.
Yep. Every time you're if you're plugged in via Wi-Fi or I don't know, Ethernet, you're plugged in right away. So you don't need a browser technically to browse the internet. As long as you have the the URL, you could use curl. Like that's what people were doing before GUIs were out. The early internet didn't have any kind of graphics interface. It just had message boards with this type of. It all looked like this. Like you would visit, you would visit a message board, or I forgot the name for it. I think it was called Usenet. Yeah, where you would just log on and your entire interface. Just think about it, like it'll just look like this, right? And then you would just be, browsing down because the web browsers didn't exist yet, right? So once you're plugged in, you're plugged in. Exactly. Yeah, makes sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the only difference between curl, that whole program curl, and this program, which is a browser, is just this has the ability to render it. All right, so just keep that in mind. So again, I use curl against this, right? And that's for the website, and you saw the returning of the instructions for that website, right? Which happened to be all the the HTML and stuff. And now let's see what happens if we use the API. So the API, what that is just this is also created by the same developers of whoever created this, and just like they have their own, which this is our test environment for this Booker app. Assuming this is like a hotel app or something. The Wikipedia has their backend component. Amazon has its backend component. But what we're gonna test against this, because this was created with this express. We're gonna run all our REST API automation against this. So let's see what this is right here. This auth create token. So we use this, and we got all. Well, let me show you. So I'm gonna erase all of this. Never mind. I always forget where clear is. Alright, never mind. Alright, just to show you, we did this against Wikipedia. This is gonna be against this website. So I'll hit enter, or I'll hit curl this. And you'll get, just like we saw in Wikipedia, you'll see the HTML here somewhere, right? But now let's test against the API. So you can't just run it yourself. Like if I were just this and hit, if I just did this, where I'm just posting in the API and I hit enter, nothing's gonna happen because this doesn't make sense. It's not an actual command. You gotta do curl this. Let's see. Oh, right. So this is not the complete create token command. So this is where you have to start using these post and get requests, and I'll show you what I mean. Don't worry too much about it, but basically what it means is curl has additional components to it that you can't just paste this in and expect a response. You have to put all of this in, right? So let me create a token, and I'll explain what a token means in a bit. So let me copy, and I'll paste that, and it's the exact same thing. If I hit enter, you'll see a token gets generated. So what a token is anytime you log into a website, right? A token is generated for you. Let me zoom in. Where's that token? Let me do that again. All right, so right here, a token is generated. So basically, anytime you log into a website and you visit other parts of the, your logged in interface, the website still have to verify that you're a proper customer and not a random person without an account. In order to do that, you have the token. And just like restfulbooker.com uses its own way to return a token, Wikipedia does that, Amazon does that. So let's keep going down this curl commands of each, and we'll see what each of them does. All right, so this is another command, and what do you guys think this would do? If I were to post this, what do you think the purpose of it is? So if I were to put copy and paste this into the terminal, what do you think is going to happen?
You're gonna update the database.
Right, with a new name, right? So let me do that, but I'm trying to clear this to make it. Never mind. All right, yeah, let me do that. So I just copied and pasted this, but they're just giving me this as an example, but I could have replaced the first name with whatever I wanted. And I'll do that for you guys after a bit. But let me hit enter. So you see this response I get back. That's just telling me that, all right, they assigned a number to it for Jim Brown, who I just entered. And they're just, this is just a response telling me this worked, right, with the new booking ID. So let's keep going. And I'm going to keep going, but I'm going to switch over to Postman, which I told you guys to download because it'll make it a lot easier. So basically what Postman is you see how kind of ridiculous this is getting. This is kind of hard to manage. And in the real world, you would never just use curl commands to test out an API. There's easier ways to do it. So let me pull up Postman so it'll make a lot more sense. So I created a separate collection for it, and I'll show you guys more and more how to use it better, but let me create the first request, and we'll go back to auth. So we'll start from scratch. And you'll get used to the interface the more you use it, but let me run through it. So this is going to be for auth, and this is just me assigning the name for it. Hang on. So auth. This is the auth. It's a post, and I'll explain what post means. Let me just run through each of them. So this is a post. I'm going to just copy and paste the URL just like I did in the terminal. Right? And so unlike curl, I don't have to enter all this extra stuff. This does it for me in the background. So the only thing I have to, be worried about is anytime I create a token, I need, basically what happened here is the backend developers, they created a username and password so I could automatically test this out, right? So consider I was logging into Amazon.com, I'll have a username and password to work with. So if I enter the correct username and password, that should log me in, right? So I'll do that. And to do that, you go to the body, and you select any one of these, but for now, for the purposes of these tests, we're going to use this right here. So I'll say username I want is admin, right? This is what the backend developers gave to me. And the password is password123, right? And let's see if this works. Right? So it generated a token for me, but it looks nicer now. It's not in the terminal. And if I hit run again, it's going to keep generating new tokens for me, right? So in the real world, what happens is your browser, if I correctly entered the right login information, right? Your browser handles all this. It grabs your token so you don't have to worry about it. And anytime after you've logged into Amazon.com, let's say you go to the settings page of your account, right? The idea is it make sure you have the correct token. If you do, it lets you visit it. Otherwise, it's just going to block you. Like, let me see what happens if I enter the wrong password. See? Now the response is bad credentials, right? Because the original developers didn't, they had this one password in mind, and they don't want you to be able to log in with anything else. So if I go back to password123, hit send, now it works. Let's try that with admin. Bad credentials, right? And one thing about this specific set of APIs is the developer for it, as I was reading over the documentation, he willingly put bugs in it. So if there's any kind of response that is not intended, that's all, he had that in mind. So we did get our post. This is a post response. So let's keep going down. And now we'll do a get booking ID. So this just gets whoever's in the, not this one, right here. Whoever's in the system, right? And you'll see what I mean by that. So I'll add a request, and we'll rename it get booking. So I'm just doing exactly this is me just testing his API to make sure everything works, right? So got the get booking step. I'll enter the URL he had intended, and keep in mind how it starts to kind of looks, starts looking different, right? Before we had what here for auth? You guys remember? So before we had right here, like auth. Just keep that in mind. Like basically this base is the same. Just like in the base, how you'd visit restfulbooker.app.com. This stays the same, except once you want to access different parts of the app, like who's in the system, whether you want to create a generated token for anyone visiting, this is how you separate the two, right? Otherwise, how would whatever you develop, how would you know, what API to call, right? So now we're gonna use get booking. So let me enter that, and keep this colon ID thing in mind. So let me post that, and this take note is a get request. And once I kind of start posting each of these one by one, you'll see what I mean by, because remember, keep in mind, this is a post with the auth generating tool, that's post, and this is a get. Okay. So let me delete this for a second to show you what happens, and you'll notice this interface change, right? So basically, the idea is, well, what do you think? So this is a get booking API, right here. What do you think this? Why do you think I have this as a colon ID? What do you think the purpose of that is?
Get the ID.
Right. So like, suppose I had 50 guests, right? How would I know which one is which, right? And you see this path variable come up, and now that we have this and there's nothing else that we need, let's test it out. Right. So look what not found, because why? So I just hit send, and this was the response, not found. Why do you think that is?
Because you can put in the value.
Right, exactly. Right. See, I have the ID right here, but it's expecting something. So keep this in mind. Like, just take note of it, because see, if I deleted thing, Postman immediately reacts to it. It says, all right, because it's always looking at what you're gonna put in as the complete API. And here, it automatically, see, if I put is or something like here, the key, this is what it is. It's called a key. So I put ID, which is the correct one, because that's how the original developers for this programmed it. Let me keep going now. This I keep scrolling down from it because this is gonna give you like every single ID, right? So I don't want to do that. I want to show you guys each name. So basically, if I had like 13 IDs, it'll show me each one, right? But I'm not interested in that. I want to see each of them one by one. So let's do that. So let's say who pops up when I put 1. Hit send. So I see a Mark Brown. All right. How about number 2? So basically, someone already went down and has like a set of test data already in place to make it seem like an actual hotel, right? So 3. See, all these names change just as would. You see, like previously, the other guy didn't wanted additional details like breakfast. This guy doesn't want it, and they're all persistent. Like, so you see Sally right now. Let me go back to number 2. I see Sally Jackson. If I go right back to 3, it's the same person, Sally Erickson. But the thing is, every 10 minutes, the developer for this has it set to automatically update. So we have a little bit of time to work with this until the details completely change again. Mark Erickson. All right, so he has a bunch of names. All right, so this is that API, and I put get booking for that. So now it's create booking. So let me make one for that, and that's just to include a new thing, like a new name to your API. So what we'll do is we're gonna create a new booking for ourselves against his API. So we're gonna put our own name into his database, and then we're gonna fetch it. How do you think we're gonna fetch it? Well, let me specify here. So I'm only asking you now because it's kind of time sensitive, because he'll update it and we won't see our name. But so just like that, it's a post request. So let me fill that out. Give me a second. Alright, so let me enter that. Where is it? Yeah, create booking. Got that. So we've been using this for now, but we could also use it in a raw JSON. And what I mean by that is this is the parameters we sent, and we could have done it using the the parameters form, just like we did with the others. But we could also do it if we wanted to copy and paste it. We could do it that way too. So let me go to the body, and I could just copy paste this. All right, let me see if everything's good. Send, and that makes it. And basically the response is just giving you back Like he could have had a weak response where it doesn't even show you what you entered, but this is just to show you that it worked, right? Because if you look here, this is what I copied and pasted, right? But I didn't put any IDs. When he's returning back an ID, he's saying, all right, this is successful, right? So you can keep going. And let's even put our names in it. So let's put Fa Chowdhury. And you see, it updates dynamically, and Fa Chowdhury is now in the database, right? So let's put each of our names. Berm. Bro, I forgot your last name. So I used to call you. Let's say Syed.
Barwali.
Barwali. So you see, it's getting updated dynamically. Yeah, you see that? So now you see that, that's just showing you, that's a response showing you that's entered into the database. Now I'm going to do the next part really quickly because, I don't know if he's going to update it and erase what we just created. So if I wanted to get our names, what do you think I'd do right now? So right now we just created the bookings for ourselves, right? Now I want to make sure I'm in the database. What do you think I'd do? Right, this is just a response, right? Showing you it worked. But now I want to see if it actually worked. If Ish is in that database, if Berm is in that database, right? Don't take this as a response because I'm not completely sure if I'm fetching it. This is just a response. But
You have to do get.
Say again, Ish?
You have to do a get.
Right. Exactly what though?
Get last name or get first name or get booking.
Right, get booking. Why not? We already created this here, right? So get booking. All right, now what?
Send it.
Yeah, but if we send it, remember we have a 5 value here, right? So we're getting Mark Erickson.
Gotta use the correct ID.
Right, and if I remember correctly, so we did 11 to 13. So we got Jim Brown for 11. If I do 12, I get Fa. If I do 13, I get Berm. If I do 14, I get Ish. So that basically confirms to me that our names were saved successfully. That's what the API is doing, right? That's express purpose of doing it. That's what it's doing. So, Postman just kind of helps. If we were just to do all that with a terminal, we'd need to copy and paste, and that's a mess, right? And here, we got all of this, neatly over here in the side panel to the left. All right. All right. So now I was actually having issues using update booking and delete booking against Postman. So let's actually try to use it through the terminal instead. So what I'll do is I'll update Fa's name to Fahim because I had that as Fa. Let me just confirm it. I'll get the text edited out first. Just give me a second. So we can copy paste here, then make the adjustments. So what I mean by that, I'll put update booking API here so I don't have to keep looking at that. And this is what the API looks like. Or this is the entire curled command, how it looks like. Okay, so actually how we'll do it, because I'm thinking it's gonna delete our names 12, 13, and 14 any minute now. So what we'll do is we'll update one of the first names into our names and then see if it worked. So, and then we'll validate it through get booking. And remember, the only reason I'm doing it through the terminal right now is I was having problems with Postman when I was doing the update booking and where was it? Everything else underneath it. So we'll do it through the terminal. The only difference right now is you see this token component to it. So what that means is, you know how we were generating tokens here, right? And this, we didn't really need anything. We just need the admin and password. You see, every time we could generate a new token. for some requests, like the other one, for get booking and create booking, we didn't have to worry about a token. What that means is we could just do it, carte blanche, and it wouldn't stop us. We could keep create new bookings, and we're not going to be blocked. But for update bookings, meaning if for whatever names already in the system, if you want to update them, you need to validate it with a token. And how do you validate with a token? You need to generate a new one, right? So let's do that, and you'll see how all these systems kind of intersect. So first I'll create the new token, send. So that created, I'll take this, I'll copy and paste it, and this curl command is just the same thing as what I have here. I just copy it and paste it. The only thing is it's not going to be ABC123, even though I think this is auto-generated to work, but we'll post the actual one. That looks ugly, but we'll leave it. Hopefully it works. And we'll say update the first index to fa, and it'll end up doing it for all of it too. So let me copy and paste this, and let's see if it works. So this, I'm going to take it to the terminal. Bad request. Yeah, I think I muddled it a little. All right, there you go. So now I updated Fa's name to the first one, right? Now I'm gonna go back to Postman and try to keep up, because I'm just going back and forth to show you all of these is really the same thing, whether or not I did it through the terminal or not. Now, how do you think I get Fa's name? Let's assume it already Let's assume it already deleted the ones we created before. How do you think I get Fa's name now with Postman?
Did you just do get request?
Yeah, this get request, right? I'm just trying to get booking of Fa's name to see if it updated. But look at this original update API, right? Which index did I use? Which index did I update?
1.
Right. So where would Fa's new name belong now?
1.
Right. So what do I do here?
Change that ID to 1.
Okay, let's try it. Now you see it's Fa Brown, right? Basically, we updated the first value through the terminal, right? Regardless, Postman was still able to fetch it, right? Let's keep going. And we'll finally do delete. All right. So let me copy paste this now to the terminal. And now we can actually just post it directly. Let me pull up text edit. So now we'll call this delete booking, and I apologize for the color. And we'll use the exact same token we generated here, right? You reuse the same token, it doesn't matter. Right here. So now I'm trying to delete it. Delete Fa Brown. Pull up terminal, post it here. Hopefully it works. I think it worked. Now let's see if Fa is even in the system anymore. Send that, not found, right? Because he was deleted. But I put 2 there just to see if that's available, and that's still available, Eric. But if I put Fa, he's not gonna be there because I just deleted it, right? And let me post the APIs here. I'm gonna find out why it's not working, but the basic idea, I just want to explain this whole get, post, delete stuff, and then we'll end today's lesson. So we got the update booking. And here it's a put request. And we got delete. delete booking. We'll post the API for it right there. This would also be ID. I don't know why you put 1 here. So this would also have ID in it, and you put the ID here to find out what you want to delete. All right. Now, lastly, so this is, let me name it delete booking. So basically, this is like the very primitive idea of how every website functions. In the back end, there's all these kinds of APIs, and yeah, you're running through the front end, but you're not seeing that the actual APIs your front end developers are using to make those, the thing you want happen on your screen possible, right? And when I'm talking about post, get, post, put, delete, is basically exactly what it sounds like. In get booking, I'm not modifying the database at all, right? I just want to inspect it. I want to peer into it and see what kind of whoever's in the system. I just want to get it. I just don't want to modify the data. Post is when I want to put a new set of data into the system, right? So when I create post and it returns a token to me, in the system, it creates a new token ID, right? And then it matches against whatever. Remember how this works. I log in, I use my username and password credentials. I log in, I get this this token ID. My browser saves it, right? And then afterwards, anytime I visit any other page in the browser, it's their database is validating, all right, does he have the correct token? If I do, I get to view whatever I'm to view. Otherwise, you guys saw, like, I'm not going to even be able to see what's behind it. Create booking, that speaks for itself. I want to create a new thing, user into the database, post. Put, what do you think put means? And what do you think delete means? And we'll end it there. Well, delete is obvious, but put, what do you think put usually refers to? Anyone?
Well, isn't it that set updates the entire, like, data, like, object, but put, like, updates a single variable?
Right, exactly. Like, if I hit this drop down, you'll see all these other. What would you say, Ish? You said set?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't see that here. I don't know where you. I don't know if there's a set command, but basically the idea is get, post, put, delete, and patch. We're not going to go over patch, but these are the main commands through any database that you just got to get used to, because they highlight the whole cycle of data creation and deletion for a website, right? If you know these, you're pretty much golden for most interviews. They'll usually never ask you for these other ones, even though you see them right here, because they're just not used as much. That's the only reason. Usually get, post, put, patch, delete, that takes care of all of it. And what Ish was saying is this just updates a variable. Updates a data set. You already have in the system. You just want to update maybe one key value to it. That's what it is. And delete speaks for itself. You have that in the system. You want to delete it. And all this is done through these APIs.
Wait, so what's the difference between post and put?
So post, you don't have the data in it in the first place, right? We never had ish in the system.
Oh,
we never had fonts.
I get it. So
Right.
it replaces, you're just replacing a value with put.
Right, exactly. So if we wanted to update ish to ishmam, we would use the put.
So what
Right.
patch?
Patch. It's all like there's all like little tweaks to each of them where they kind of overlap. We'll go over patch tomorrow, but just keep those 4 big ones in mind.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we're good for it. Tomorrow we're gonna go over actual REST API automation. We're gonna try to get to it, but that's when circling back to actual the automation. Say again?
REST API you use at work a lot?
Depends on the job. A lot of jobs nowadays rely on it heavily. That's why you guys saw Technosoft put out that ad request.
Yeah,
they offer it as a separate course for some reason, even though this stuff is really important. Like nowadays.
But this is actually considered part of testing? Like
Yeah, because you'll see right now the APIs are working fine, it seems like, but the developers could have easily created bad APIs that are not returning the intended variables. It's going to be your job as a test automation engineer to set up your scripts so that you validate the responses if they're correct or not, basically. But yeah, these are
Like
becoming.
I was asking because like isn't this like more like an internal type of testing type of
Yeah,
thing?
yeah, but you're gonna be expected
Not like
to.
a user like front user or whatever type of like.
Yeah, you nowadays you're expected to know both in a way.
Oh,
So some jobs are entirely REST API automation where you're validating the back end. But yeah, like it's to really have a good testing out, you need both basically.
okay.
Yeah. Any other questions? All right.
Can you post up this video?
Yeah, yeah, I'm gonna put it up
Oh,
right away. But more to come.
And how do I fix the Java thing?
Oh yeah, yeah. Let me stay behind with you after. But otherwise, Bermanish, unless you guys have any questions, we're good to go here.
okay, cool.
All right, all right.